Welcome, seekers of the truth, to the Magical Services channel. So this is going to be a most supreme mood horoscope for the general collective for the time frame that'll be from this upcoming full moon on August 28th, 2026 to the full moon after that on September 26th, 2026. So this horoscope will be for that time frame. With that said, let's get into it. So the collective psyche opens beneath the luminous flood of the Pisces full moon, or configuration that dissolves the membranes between conscious thought and the vast uncharted waters of the unconscious. This lunar peak triggers a global surge of psychic sensitivity, emotional permeability, and spiritual longing. The boundaries that ordinarily contain the self, rational categorization, emotional compartmentalization, the neat narratives we construct to explain our lives, soften and bleed. Dreams intensify. Anxieties take on a numinous, almost mythological quality. The collective mood oscillates between transcendent compassion and paralyzing overwhelm, between the desire to merge with something greater and the terror of losing one's individual contours. This is not a gentle opening. It is a psychic inundation that forces the collective to confront what has been suppressed beneath the surface of functional daily life. As the waning light carries the moon through Aries and Taurus, the emotional register shifts from oceanic dissolution to embodied reactivity. Mars in Cancer governs the entire cycle, and its influence on the collective mood is profound and destabilizing. Mars in its fall does not express anger directly, it seethes. The psychological landscape becomes saturated with passive aggressive undercurrents, mood swings triggered by perceived threats to emotional security, and a pervasive irritability that individuals struggle to name or locate. People may find themselves reacting disproportionately to minor slights, experiencing flashes of protective rage over loved ones or domestic spaces, or withdrawing into sulking silence when their needs go unmet. The collective nervous system is primed for fight or flight, yet the expression of that activation is indirect, circular, and often self-defeating. This is a period where emotional honesty becomes both desperately needed and extraordinarily difficult. The Virgo new moon in mid-September offers the psyche a critical reset, yet it operates within a narrow band of cognitive function. With Mercury conjunct the Sun in Virgo, the mind sharpens into a precision instrument. Mental clarity peaks, the capacity for analysis, categorization, and systematic thought reaches its zenith. However, this same configuration casts a long psychological shadow, perfectionism as defense mechanism, anxiety masquerading as productivity, and the compulsive need to control one's internal environment through rigid mental frameworks. The collective psyche attempts to organize its way out of emotional chaos. Lists replace feeling. Criticism substitutes for vulnerability. The mind becomes a fortress against the very emotions the Pisces full moon exposed. Those who can hold both the analytical clarity and the emotional truth will experience genuine cognitive integration. Those who cannot will find themselves trapped in loops of overthinking, unable to act or rest. Venus's ingress into Scorpio marks a decisive turning point in the collective emotional underworld. The polite harmonious effect maintained during Venus's transit through Libra cracks open, revealing the roiling depths beneath. Repressed jealousy, unspoken resentment, grief that has been aestheticized rather than felt, and the raw hunger for authentic connection all surge toward consciousness. The psychological mood darkens, not in despair, but into intensity. There is a collective compulsion to dig beneath surfaces, to interrogate motivations, to refuse the comfort of pleasant illusions. This transit strips away the social performance of emotional well-being and demands confrontation with shadow material. Relationships become mirrors for unresolved psychic wounds. The The question the collective psyche must answer is not, quote unquote, am I happy? But, quote unquote, what am I refusing to feel? Simultaneously, the outer planet retrograde cluster exerts enormous pressure on the architecture of collective consciousness. Saturn retrograde in Aries generates a pervasive psychological tension around autonomy and self-efficacy. The internal critic grows louder. Individuals question their right to take up space, to initiate, to want. This is compounded by Neptune retrograde in the same sign, which dissolves the very sense of coherent selfhood that Saturn attempts to structure. The combined effect is a collective identity crisis. Who am I when my confidence is stripped away? What do I actually want versus what I have been conditioned to pursue? The heroic narrative of the autonomous individual is undergoing a slow, grinding deconstruction, and the psychological disorientation this produces is real and significant. Uranus stationing retrograde in Gemini introduces a volatile electric quality to the collective mental field. Thought patterns become erratic. Sudden insights rupture established belief systems without warning. The nervous system is overstimulated by information overload, contradictory messaging, and the sense that the ground beneath one's cognitive assumptions is shifting without consent. Conversations take unexpected turns. Internal monologues become fragmented, jumping between ideas without resolution. For some, this produces genuine cognitive breakthroughs, flashes of genius that reframe long-standing psychological patterns. For others, it produces anxiety, insomnia, and a pervasive sense of mental instability that resists grounding. Pluto retrograde in Aquarius operates at the deepest stratum of the collective unconscious, transforming the psychological relationship to belonging, group identity, and social power. Obsessive thought patterns around one's place within communities, institutions, and ideological movements intensify. The question, quote unquote, do I belong here or am I performing belonging, end quote, haunts the collective psyche. Power dynamics within groups surface with uncomfortable clarity, triggering paranoia and liberation. The old psychological contract that safety is found in conformity to a tribe is being rewritten at a cellular level. The cycle culminates with the Aries full moon at month's end, igniting a volcanic release of everything that has been contained, analyzed, intellectualized, and suppressed throughout the preceding weeks. This is the eruption: pent-up frustration, unexpressed anger, deferred self-assertion, and the accumulated weight of Saturn's retrograde pressure find their outlet. The psychological breakthrough and the psychological breakdown share the same configuration. The difference lies in whether the individual has developed sufficient self-awareness to channel the eruption consciously. For those who have done the quiet, unglamorous inner work of the Virgo season, who have named their needs, examined their projections, and released the perfectionist's grip, the Aries full moon delivers a liberating catharsis. For those who have merely white-knuckled their way through, it may manifest as rage, impulsive action, or sudden psychological rupture. By the cycle's close, the collective consciousness has undergone a fundamental reorganization. The lunar nodes, pulling from Leo's dramatic self-expression toward Aquarius' detached, egalitarian awareness, indicate that the ultimate psychological evolution of this period is the release of ego-identified emotional narratives. The collective psyche is learning to witness its own patterns without being consumed by them, to hold both the raw, Cancerian vulnerability of Mars and the crystalline, analytical distance of Mercury without collapsing into either extreme. What emerges is not emotional numbness, but psychological sovereignty, the capacity to feel deeply without being governed by feeling, to think clearly without using thought as armor, and to exist within the collective without surrendering the irreducible singularity of one's own inner life. So that is what I had for you today, Collective. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please feel free to like this video, or comment this video, or share this video, or hype this video, or subscribe to our channel if you have not already, or hype our channel by letting your friends and acquaintances who might benefit from it know about it. All those acts would be great and greatly appreciated for sure. Now, there's a magical service being offered in the description box. Feel free to check it out. It could be very useful indeed. And I do encourage you to stay in tune to future uploads of the channel, as I always try to keep fresh stuff on here for you guys. All sign readings, sign-specific readings, longs and shorts, divinations and astrology readings, and whatever else you would like to see feasible. So please do let me know about it. Until then, thank you very much for your time and for being here and being part of our tribe and supporting our channel. Until the next time, blessings.